my name is Abby Lynch, and I'm the Teen Services Librarian at the Brookfield Library, back for another week of Teen Book Talks. Our category today is Tween Books. They're books that are new or new-ish, newly added to our Tween section. Our Tween section is for kids age 10 through 14, basically for people who are reading from both the children's fiction section and the teen fiction section. There's plenty of great stuff out there. So if you're in middle school, we have a ton of stuff for you. I have a big variety of books today. We have a ton of genres represented, so I hope you'll find something that you are interested in. Let's get started. The first book today is Ikenga by Nnedi Okorafor. And Nnedi Okorafor is the author of the Akata series, which is a great fantasy series, and this is also a new fantasy by her. Nnedi's father was a good chief of police, perhaps the best Callender had ever had. He was determined to root out the criminals that had invaded the town, but then he was murdered, and most people believed the chief of chiefs, the most powerful of the criminals, was responsible. Nnedi has vowed to avenge his father, but he wonders what a 12-year-old boy can do. Until a mysterious nighttime meeting, the gift of a magical object that enables superpowers, and a charge to use those powers for good, changes his life forever. How can he fulfill his mission? How will he learn to control his newfound powers? So that's Ikenga by Nnedi Okorafor, and it's available as an audiobook on Hoopla. Next up, we have some contemporary fiction, King and the Dragonflies by Kacen Callender. 12-year-old Kingston James is sure his brother Khalid has turned into a dragonfly. When Khalid unexpectedly passed away, he shed what was his first skin for another to live down by the bayou in their small Louisiana town. Khalid still visits in dreams, and King must keep these secrets to himself as he watches grief transform his family. It would be easier if King could talk with his best friend, Sandy Sanders, but just days before he died, Khalid told King to end their friendship after overhearing a secret about Sandy, that he thinks he might be gay. You don't want anyone to think you're gay too, do you? But when Sandy goes missing, sparking a town-wide search, and King finds his former best friend hiding in a tent in his backyard, he agrees to help Sandy escape from his abusive father, and the two begin an adventure as they build their own private paradise down by the bayou and among the dragonflies. As King's friendship with Sandy is reignited, he's forced to confront questions about himself and the reality of his brother's death. And this is also available as an audiobook on Hoopla. Next up, we have some historical fiction and contemporary fiction. It's Ground Zero by Gratz. Gratz is a really popular author. He writes a lot of historical fiction, and he writes a lot of things that are in multiple perspectives, which this is. It's September 11th, 2001. Brandon, a 9-year-old boy, goes to work for the day with his dad at the World Trade Center in New York City. When two planes hit the towers, Brandon and his father are trapped inside a fiery nightmare as terror and confusion swirl around them. Can they escape? And what will the world be like when they do? In present-day Afghanistan, Rashmina is an 11-year-old girl who is used to growing up in the shadow of war, but she has dreams of peace and unity. When she ends up harboring a wounded young American soldier, she and her entire family are put in mortal danger. But Rashmina also learns something surprising about the roots of this endless war. Ground Zero is an action-packed and powerful story of two kids whose lives connect in unexpected ways and reminds us how the past and present are always more linked than we think. And this is Ground Zero, again, by Gratz, and it's available as an audiobook on Hoopla. Next up, we have Willa and the Whale by Chad Morris and Shelly Brown. And this one, I'm pretty sure, is also contemporary fiction, although I think it has maybe a little bit of magic sprinkled throughout it. Can a whale talk to a human? Willa thinks so. After losing her mom, Willa is grieving and having a hard time living with her dad and his new family on an island off the coast of Washington State. Her dad tries to cheer her up by taking her whale watching, something Willa's mom used to do. While all the passengers are on one side of the boat, Willa encounters a humpback whale on the opposite side. Willa feels so lonely that she starts to talk to the whale, and the whale talks back. The whale, named Meg, quickly becomes a trusted friend and confidant Willa can speak to whenever she's by the ocean. Meg offers sound advice Willa needs about dealing with a nemesis at school and trying to figure out why her friend Mark is keeping secrets about his family life. Before the story ends, it will take all of Willa's courage and connections to tackle a problem that's as big as a blue whale. So this one is available in both ebook and audiobook format on Hoopla. Next up we have The Great Upending by Beth Kephart. When a troubled children's book author moves to their farm, two kids with troubles of their own hatch a scheme to swipe the ending of the final book in a best-selling series to get a reward from the book's publisher. 12-year-old Sarah and her brother Hawk are told that they are not to bother the man, the mister, who just moved into the silo apartment on their farm. It doesn't matter that they know nothing about him, and they think they ought to know something. It doesn't matter that he's always riding that unicycle around. Mama told them no way, no how are they to bother the mister unless they want to be in a mess of trouble. Trouble is the last thing Sarah and her brother need. Sarah's got a heart condition, you see, Marfan syndrome. And that Marfan syndrome is causing her heart to have problems, the kind of problems that require surgery. But the family already has problems. The drought has dried up their crops and their funds, which means they can't afford any more problems, let alone a surgery to fix those problems. Sarah can feel the weight of her family's worry and the weight of her time running out. But what can a pair of kids do? Well, it all starts with bothering the mister. And this one's also available in audiobook format on Hoopla. Last up, we have some science fiction in the red by Christopher Swiedler. Michael Prasad knows he shouldn't go out on the Mars surface alone. It's dangerous. His parents have forbidden it. And the anxiety he feels almost every time he puts on a spacesuit makes it nearly impossible for him to leave the safety of the colony. But when his best friend Lilith suggests they sneak out one night, he can't resist the chance to prove everyone, including himself, wrong. As the two ride along the Mars surface in a stolen rover miles from the colony, a massive solar flare hits the planet, knocking out power, communication, and navigation systems, and the magnetic field that protects the planet from the sun's deadly radiation. Stranded hours from home with an already limited supply of food, water, and air, Michael and Lilith must risk everything if they're to get back to the colony alive. And this one's available in ebook and audiobook format on Hoopla. So there you have it, some new, or new-ish anyway, books in our Tween collection. You can put those on hold online for curbside pickup or call 203-775-6241 for some help with those, or you can check them out on Hoopla. And if none of these books was appealing to you, you can always fill out the form for our personalized reading suggestions on our website and tell me a little bit about what you like, and I will make a list specifically for you. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and until next time, have a wonderful week.